Hi Spanish students, this is Mark. Today I wanted to do a walkthrough for the website Rhinospike. It's a there's a lot you can do with it, but for the purposes of our lessons, if you have private lessons with me, or if you're just watching for information on your own, whether it's a course that you've gotten, this is a fantastic website and I want to walk through at least the things that I have found to be useful with you. So what we're going to do first, if you don't already have a sign-in, if you're someone that is not doing private tutoring with me, you will want to do that first. It should be pretty easy, just like anything else. Put in your email, password, etc., etc. However, I'm going to log in with my username and password. So once you sign up, then you'll click login right here, and it should be able to save it on your computer. Okay, so here's my username. You're welcome to go ahead and find me if you so please. I'm just going to do this really quick. Okay, so now I'm all logged in. So on this web page, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here and make things a little bit better for the video. Okay. At this point, you can go ahead and search for basically what Rhinospike is, first of all. It is a site where language learners exchange texts, and then they actually speak those texts out, and you can also just do texts as well, but for our purposes and for most of the website, this is meant for recordings. And so you have what are called credits up here. So right now you can see you can actually buy credits. I've got 1 credit total right now just because I've uploaded something in English. And so how this works is that I send something to English. I read something in English really quickly for someone else. I upload it and then send it their way so that they know how to pronounce something with American English. However, I'm learning Spanish, and so I'm looking for Spanish texts. And so I'll walk you through how to make new requests and different things like that. But for the majority of my students, I think the best thing the best thing for you will actually be to just find recordings that are already out there, and there's a lot of free recordings already. And so one of the first ones that I do with most of my students, just because it has a lot of introductory phrases, which are very, very common just when you're starting to learn a language in general. I think it's good. You're going to go ahead and type in, or at least what I type in to find it is soy de, which just means I am from. Okay, and it'll be this second one right here with 51 words. So this is just an example. You can see that there's a ton of different examples that you can see. Oh, is this going to be working for me? Is this the type of language that I want? But these are all requests that other people have put into Spanish speakers, and so just kind of take that as a warning. Read through it, see if it's the kind of dialect that you want, etc., etc. Okay, so this one happens to be a Spain dialect, and I'm going to talk through what that means. But what you'll do is you'll click listen. Okay, so this green button, listen. I'm going to zoom in again here. Okay, so this green button right here, listen on whatever you want. You could do any of these and you could check out any of these, but I've used this one quite a bit. So you're going to go ahead and take a listen. If you want to download it onto your computer, you can just go ahead and download it and it'll pop up somewhere like on the bottom left or on the top right, somewhere like that. You can just save it really quickly and have the audio file on your desktop, which makes it really easy to practice. But for this video, I'm just going to show you how I would use this and how I would study. So as you can see, it's a lot of phrases that maybe you even already know, and we're going to use these to practice pronunciation. So if you've not already watched the SoundCloud upload, after this video would be a good time to watch that. It's a good tutorial so that you know how to send me uploads. You know how to send me uploads of this recording, which you will be doing, so that I can give you feedback midweek or mid-sessions. Okay, so for example, on this one, you're going to click play, and you will hear a person speaking this paragraph, this introductory paragraph. Okay, so I'm just going to click play for the sake of practicing it.
Hola,
It's going to be really
me
quiet. You
llamo
probably can't
Alejandro.
hear it on the computer right now.
Yo soy
But
de Guanajuato.
it's a native speaker. She's from northern Spain, and she happens to say the X sound instead of the ha sound. So right here it's supposed to be Oaxaca, Mexico. She says Oaxaca, Mexico, just because of her dialect. However, everything else is exactly the same. But just so that you know, be careful about the pronunciation. Always come back to what these are. If you have not watched the Spanish pronunciation videos from previous, you should go ahead and take a look at that. But these are the main sounds that we want to practice and make sure that we get right on. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in again. But here's the text, and you get a native speaker speaking it. And the first thing, so kind of step one, would be to listen to this text multiple times while reading along with the native speaker. Okay, so literally just listen to it 10, 15 times, multiple times, so that you can start to really understand, first of all, not necessarily understand and comprehend what she's saying, but to actually mimic and start to realize what she's saying and the intonation that she uses and the flow that she uses. I like this one because it's a little bit slower, and she kind of highlights different pronunciation things within this text. But that's literally, that'll be step one, is to just listen to it. Okay, then step two, what you're going to do is start to mimic her as she's speaking. So like let's just say every line, for example, you want to mimic her after every line. You can go ahead and press the play button and then press the pause button by clicking the play and pause will be the space bar. It's really easy, okay? So as you can see, it's playing right now, and then I can pause it, playing right now, then I can pause it. That was all with my space bar, okay? And so, for example, if I were studying right now, what I would do is I would listen to her speaking, okay? So I would listen.
Hola, me llamo Alejandro.
And then I would repeat after her. Hola, me llamo Alejandro. Okay, and as you go along, a big thing that I always highlight with my students, and this is during vocabulary, stage 2 vocabulary, I'm going to always be coming back to Rhinospike to continue to practice these major sounds while also learning common phrases within the vocabulary stage. And a good way to break this down is to actually break down every syllable that you see. And if you have to go super slow with these, that's okay. The main purpose of this is to not go super fast and get a ton done, but to actually just take one thing. So this is one paragraph that we have here, introductory paragraph, and to get it perfect, to say it absolutely perfectly and mimic the native speaker exactly how she or he speaks those words. So that's one way to do it, is to just break it down into syllables. Make sure you know how to say the syllables correctly as she's saying them, and you can always come back to the sounds worksheet that I would give you in lessons. But then start to mesh these together. Okay, so you'll notice here that I didn't, put a pause right in between every single word. Everyone would understand me that way. But I also want to sound more fluent, and I also want to start understanding fluent speech. So I want to start speaking faster, which is why we need to repeat this over and over again to start getting the flow of the text. Okay, so I don't say me llamo Alejandro. I mix these sounds together. For example, the O in llamo and the A in Alejandro, I kind of mix those two sounds together. I don't just say llamo Alejandro, I say hola, me llamo Alejandro. When I see those O and that A, I kind of mix those two together to make the wa sound. That's just an example, and I'm not going to go through every single example in this, but do make sure that as you're going through this, that you really pay close attention to every subtle detail that you see and start to mix these letters as if you were the native speaker. That's the main goal of all of this, is to sound and to understand native speakers. So hopefully this was helpful. This was the basics of kind of finding a text and the recording for that text, which you'll see right here. You can also make a request. So in order to make a request, I think you get like a certain amount for free right away. So I'm going to show you one that I made. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home page here, which is up here. I'm going to zoom in one more time. I already made an audio request. You probably haven't, so you would probably click New Request. However, I'm just going to show you what it looks like within this menu. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in again. Okay, so here is my request. Okay, so I just did a really short one so that it would be really easy and a Spanish speaker would give it to me very fast. This one was from Spain. I asked for the recording to be someone from Spain, and I said, debe ponerse su cinturón. And I wanted to practice that lisp sound because that's what they make in Spain. And so I've practiced that over and over again because it was hard for me to go from a s sound to a th sound right next to each other. So I had to practice that a lot. And that's what you're going to be doing as well. So this is just another way, if you have like a specific text that you want to practice. I know that some of my students have like poems or songs that they love to practice their pronunciation. This is a fantastic way to get this in and find a dialect that you want. Let's just say you're learning Mexican Spanish. Then you can find someone from Mexico to actually speak that text. So I can listen, and they actually put like some nice comments here. So they were telling me I wasn't necessarily practicing the grammar, but someone corrected me on my grammar, which was really good. Debe ponerse el cinturón instead of su cinturón, which wasn't I wasn't worried about that, but I appreciate the comment, and they helped me out, and I really appreciated that. As you can see, they're from Madrid, Spain, which is the accent that I wanted to practice, and it looked good for me. So I downloaded that onto my computer and kind of repeated that over and over and over again, listened to my own voice, okay, on SoundCloud, and then compared it to the native speaker. So that's how I've improved my pronunciation, and a lot of other people, however you want to kind of tweak this, or if you want to use different tools within this website, you're absolutely welcome to within my lessons. But these are just a few of the things that I have found to be really useful for my pronunciation practice. So thank you for watching. This is not everything for this website, but hopefully this is a good kind of general sense of what you can do with Rhinospike. And I'm assuming you can actually also add this to your Anki app. So if you haven't watched the Anki app video, you can learn how to download MP3 and then put it onto an app. So if you wanted to practice like short phrases like this that I have right here from a native speaker, that might be a really good way. It would also take a lot more time. So it depends on what you want to do. But play around with it, and there's a lot of awesome stuff that you can use to improve your pronunciation. So thanks again for watching, and good luck studying.
Well, you can tell everybody, yeah, you can tell everybody, go ahead.